Let's face it, I'm a professional diver and I like my work, but that doesn't mean that I'm crazy. And I'd have to be to like this part of it, handling explosives, especially liquid nitro, one of the most powerful and possibly the most unstable explosive ever confined to a can. It'll go off sometimes if you look at it the wrong way. If you jiggle it, or jar it, or drop it, well, they'll never find the pieces. You set it off underwater by an electric charge when you're a long, long way from it. In fact, out of the water entirely. At least that's what the book says. Solid charges aren't quite as nervous as liquid nitro, but you can't afford to get careless with them either. Whether you're planting shaped charges in a concrete wall or placing TNT packs in a submarine crevice or trying to defuse the warhead of a live torpedo, there's always the chance, and a man's a fool not to expect it to happen sometime or other, that the explosive he's handling may go off while he's still within range. Explosive machines like this one are comparatively stable, of course. The only real danger is if a boat hull comes into direct contact with it. My job was to see that it didn't happen by cutting the mine loose from the kelp bed and somehow wrestling it out of the path of those boats speeding by overhead. Explosives came as close to killing me this time as anything ever did. They literally fell on me. By the time I'd worked my way free and managed to cut the line to the detonator, I'd made up my mind that this was the last time I'd ever take this kind of a risk. Never again. Famous last words. 3 days later, fate and the Coast Guard landed me square in the middle of the most explosive underwater parlay of my life.
20 little containers. And any one of them could disintegrate this boat.
Yeah, that freighter is breaking up down there. Maybe I could just set off that charge and we can get out of here.
Oh, no. We've got to know that all of that nitrol has exploded harmlessly. Can't you see a couple of those things floating around in a crowded harbor?
Hey, look at that.
Yeah. She's shifting. If it was anything but nitrile, it's so unpredictable.
Thanks for reminding me.
I'm not trying to scare you. Only let you know what you're getting into down there.
I just hope I find those bombs right away. This is my last tank. Had to use up all my air. Locate that freighter.
Well, that's bad. I'll get on the horn to base and have the plane fly out some tanks.
Might be too late.
Now listen, if it looks too tough when you get down there...
It looks too tough from right here. Watch that, will you? See it doesn't tangle?
Yeah.
Getting down to the wreck was no sweat, or getting into it either. Finding those stray floating bombs full of death, though, that was a problem. I couldn't see any. There was one of them anyway. Now I had to find the rack that it had come from and put it safely to sleep for a while. My luck continued to hold. I put the bomb away safely. One glance at the rack gave me plenty to think about. None of it good. I had half a dozen more bombs to find. The next bomb practically found me. It bobbed up out of the ventilator, and I grabbed it just in time. Bomb number 3 was my luckiest find. I got to it just as it was about to wash out through the porthole into the open sea. I started back to the bomb rack with it and spotted still another container of nitrile. I knew I'd be taking a very big chance trying to carry 2 of the bombs at the same time, but it'd be riskier still to leave it behind. Might not be there when I came back. It was a tricky thing to manage, but I thought I had it made. On my way to the bomb rack, though, my luck ran out. The ship lurched. This was it. One bomb or the other had to blow. Wrong. My number hadn't come up yet. Now the ship lurched again. It looked as if all the work I'd done would either float away or go up in my face. But the luck started to come my way again. I recaptured the bombs in time, locked them in tight before the ship decided to shift again. It wasn't just because I was afraid that the ship might lurch for a third time, but because I had to get topside. I was out of air.
Did you find them, Mike?
Yeah, every one of them. They're floating all around down there. But I ran out of air before I could set the charge.
Well, then we'll have to wait for the plane to get here with those tanks.
Afraid it might be too late.
Why?
She rolled around a couple of times while I was down there. Tide might send her on those rocks.
What are we going to do?
Better go back down there again. Try and set that charge.
Without air?
That's right.
Oh, Mike, it's too dangerous.
You said you didn't want that nitrile bobbing around, didn't you?
Now, how can I help?
You might pray a little.
The wreck seemed a lot further down now, but I had to get there just on the air in my lungs. I made it all right. Then placed and set the timer where it would do the most good.
Did you get it okay?
Yeah, get out of here.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's go.
Oh, you should not waste any time, are you?
Now we got a call while you were down. Priority 1.
Oh, yeah, hey, must be important. What is it?
The big hydro plant at Wendover Point. Somebody phoned in a tip that it was going to be blown up this afternoon.
Blown up?
Yeah. This is our day for explosives.
I've had enough to last me a long time. Hey, what are you up to? How do I figure in this one?
Well, here's the plant, and here is the outfall pipe stretching out to sea. They think the bomb's been planted somewhere in that underwater pipe. If it has, somebody's got to get it out.
You mean I do, huh?
I'm sorry, Mike.
Now, here I go again. Where is this place?
Here?
Hey, what about out here?
The plane will meet us there at Wendover Point.
First nitro, now a bomb.
Huh? One down.
Yeah. Now one to go.
We had been alerted that someone intended blowing up the big hydro plant at Wendover Point. Information was that a bomb had been planted in the outfall pipe far below the surface. My job was to find it and disarm it without getting killed.
The end of the pipe should be right below us. You won't have any trouble finding it.
I wish I could say as much for that bomb. Probably time charged, don't you think?
Oh, it'd have to be, to allow whoever planted it time to get out of there.
Yeah. But how much time?
There was the outfall pipe, and a diver swimming away from it. He sure didn't want any part of my company, and I wanted his, and any information that he might be able to give once I took him topside. To make sure he came along with me, I slipped the sling of my spear gun around his neck like a noose. There wasn't much he could do after that, except behave himself.
I said it's a free ocean.
Now, don't get legal on us now. What's your name?
John Stark.
Did you plant the bomb on that pipe?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't, huh? Well, your wife thinks differently. She phoned the authorities and reported that you intended to damage the plant.
She's out of her mind.
Is it true you used to work for Wendover and that you got fired about a week ago?
So what? A lot of people get fired. What's that mean?
Randy, the more time we spend with him, the less time I'm going to have on that bomb if it's down there.
Stark, where's the bomb?
No bomb.
You're a scuba diver. You know all about it, huh?
Enough?
Enough to know what happens to a submerged man during an underwater explosion?
Sure. The concussion pounds his insides to a pulp.
Think it might kill him?
Probably. I don't know.
You don't, huh? Well, I'm going to give you a chance to find out.
What do you mean?
You're going down below with me.
No.
Okay, then tell me, where is it?
How many times do I have to tell you? There ain't no bomb.
Well, good. You got nothing to worry about. Come on.
No. Come on. No. No.
What are you scared of, huh? There's nothing down there, no bomb. Is there? Is there?
Yes. There is. There is. Let me go, please.
Where is it?
I don't know. It's a torpedo. I just aimed it into the pipe and I let it go. I swear.
Time fuse?
About 20 minutes. Yes, yes.
Got about 12 minutes. On the outside.
Can do.
I've got it.
Well, Stark had told part of the truth anyway. He hadn't been inside the pipe himself. He had aimed the torpedo through a hole in the screen. I was a good distance into the pipe. Now I made out a ring of gauges in front of me. Devices to regulate the outflow of water, measure the temperature and all that. I was in too much of a hurry, I guess. Thinking too hard about the time I had left to find that torpedo and live. I snagged myself, but good. My air hose had caught in one of the gauges. I twisted and turned. I couldn't get loose. Every effort I made to free myself seemed to make things worse. I fought down my panic and reasoned my way out. I had to undo my straps. That was the first thing. But how? I pressed up against the gauge as high as I could go. For just a split second, the pressure was eased, just barely enough to enable me to loose the straps and free myself. Now it was fairly easy to untangle the tanks. I wasn't out of trouble yet, though. My air wasn't flowing properly. My struggles had damaged the regulator. It had to be fixed. I didn't have the tools for the job, just a knife. Well, this still might be my day to get blown to bits, but it wasn't my day for drowning. My air supply was still okay, and I was running out of time. Less than 4 minutes were left before Stark's torpedo was due to explode. I had to find and disarm it almost immediately, or die. I didn't find the torpedo. My tanks did. They bumped into it, where it had run out of steam and lodged itself among the gauges.